Hi guys, it's Mr. Turbeville here. Just do a little quick video here on just a review on factoring trinomials with the beginning term of a equals 1. Okay, but before we do that, I want to do a quick review on FOIL. Okay, so we get two binomials, and so what that means is everything in the first binomial times everything in the second binomial. Okay, and so what it really is just distributive property. Okay, so what I like to do, we got x times everything over here, so that's x minus 3, and then we're going to do 5 times both of those, so that's plus 5, and then x minus 3, and then that's going to give us x squared minus 3x plus 5x minus 15. Okay, notice the two middle terms are like terms. What we're going to do with those, we're going to add those. That's what we're going to do. And then that's going to give us x squared plus 2x minus 15. So that's a trinomial. We'll pull it up just a little bit. And it's in general form, and that general form would be ax squared plus bx plus c. So for this one, our a is going to be a 1 because there's an understood 1. Our b would be 2, and our c would be negative 15. Okay, for this guy here. But let's back up just a little bit. Let's back up and review. Now, you said FOIL, but you never did that. Well, let's think that we did. So if we took the first ones of the two parentheses, wouldn't that be x squared? Yeah. What if we took the outer ones, so the x and the negative 3, wouldn't that be negative 3x? So there's your O. The next thing is I for inner. So here's our two inner, so there's 5x. And then the last will be the last one in each set of parentheses, so positive 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. So there's your FOIL part, which is really just distributive property twice, okay? And so I want to talk to you about something. Where did this 15 come from? Well, it came from these two numbers being multiplied, didn't it? Where'd the 2x come from? Well, it came from these two numbers being added together to make the middle term. So when we're doing this, as long as you have a 1 in front, because we got other things when there's not a 1 in front, what the main question you always seem to ask yourself is what two things are going to multiply to give me the last term, or c, but then add or subtract depending on the signs to give me the middle term, the b term. Okay, so that's the deal with that. So we're going to start with everything being starting off in this trinomial, and we're going to try to factor it back into the binomials. So I got a few examples we're going to kind of walk through here. Let me slide up here just a bit. Okay, so here's our first example. So we're going to try to factor this. So we're going to need to set up our little binomials, and we're going to have x and x. That's the only way we're going to get x squared. So now we've got to ask ourselves, what two things multiply to give me positive 28, add to give me 11? So let me just think about this. Well, we got 1 times 28, and then I'm just going to list them. 2 times 14, 3. Don't think 3 goes in there. How about 4? Does 4 go into it? So how many times? Well, 4 times 5 is 20. So 4 times 6 would be 24. 4 times 7 would be 28. So there's 4 times 7. Okay. 5, no. 6, no. So these are all the options. Do any of these guys add or subtract to give me 11? Sure. This guy right here. So here are my two terms. So that's how I know what goes right here. Positive 4 and positive 7. And so if I FOIL that back out, I better get what I started. So that's a pretty straightforward. We got positives on both of them. So let's do a few more examples when you have signs in different places and see how that changes up what's going on. Okay, so again here, we're going to set up our two binomials because what we're shooting for, it's going to have an x and an x because you get x squared. And what I'm going to come over here and do is I'm just going to list out all the ways to get 18. 1 times 18, 2 times 9, 3 times 6, 4, no, 5, now we've already got 6. So this is all the ways to multiply to get 18. Now I could do -1 and -18, okay? And I could do -2 and -9, -3 and -6. Now why would I want to put negatives? Well, I noticed over here in the middle that when I add these things together, I'm going to get a negative. Well, if I have positive plus a positive, that's going to be positive. So that's not going to ever happen. So so I put negatives on both of them. And so now I can, negative times negative is going to be positive 18. But now a negative, see, that's what going to be, what's that? That's like -19, right? And not really what we need. That's like -11, right? And this would be -9. So, okay, so this is the one we want, right? That's the one that multiplies to give me positive 18, but adds, okay, to give me -11, okay? So I'm going to use -2 and -9. And again, if I multiply that back out, I better get what I started, okay? So this would be the factoring, okay? So that's what happens, what you process when you have a negative here and a positive there. It means the signs of the multiplication have to be the same. Okay. All right. Now this one's got a negative and a negative in between them, or minus signs in both. So, okay, let's walk through it. So let me go ahead and set up my parentheses. So we just got this one and one more, I believe. Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay. And again, I'm just going to walk through, no specific, worried about signs. I'm just going to do 1 times 32. 2 times, so what 2 times 15 is 30, so that makes 2 times 16 is 32. 3 doesn't go in evenly. How about 4? Does 4 go into it evenly? Sure does. 4 times 8. Okay, 5, no. 6, no. 7, no. 8, we've already got. So these are all the ways we can multiply to get 32. But if you notice, this is -32. So to do so, I got to have one of these be negative, right? One or the other. Now, which one needs to be negative? Well, since I have a -4 as my answer, I need to have more negatives than I do positives. So I'm going to put my negatives over here. And so when I add these together, each one of those will give me a negative answer. So I'll put these together, and that's going to give me -31. Those are going to give me -14, and those will give me -4. Hey, there's the partnership I was looking for, because that multiplies to give me -32, but combines, adds to give me -4. So that's what I'm looking for right there. Okay, +4 and -8. Okay, one last example. Okay, um, so here we go. Now this one's positive with a negative. I'm going to go ahead and set up my parentheses. Okay, put my X's in here because again, I got a 1 in front. So that makes that real pretty straightforward there. Now I'm going to set up my organization just a slightly different. It's the same basic idea. I'm actually going to add a little bit more detail to it this time. It's called a T-chart. Okay. Now I'm going to put -20 here and +1 here. A little multiplication sign and a little plus sign. So, but the thing is still going to be the same question. What two things multiply to give me the last thing, that add to give me the middle thing? So real quickly here, just go 1 times 20, 2 times 10, 3, no, 4 times 5. Okay. So I like the T-chart. It's the same idea. So we're still listing these things, but I like, because I have these numbers right above here to help me organize my thoughts. So that part's not necessarily, you need to pick something and you need to show your work somehow. But there's also things called X factor and box method, things like that. But you need something to organize your thoughts. So if I take positive times positive, I'm going to get a positive. But I need a negative. That means one of these needs to be negative. This is positive one, right? So that means I need more positives than I need negatives. So I'm going to change this time. I'm going to make these guys negative. Okay? I'm going to make these guys negative. So, so when I say -1 plus 20, that's going to give me 19. Not what we need, right? Eh. So -2 plus 10. That would be 8. Is that what we need? No. Okay, how about -4 plus 5? Well, that's 1. So that is what we're looking for. So this is our combo that we're looking for. So I'm going to put my -4 here and +5 there. And again, these should multiply out to get what I started. So that's just a few examples of factoring trinomials when the beginning term has an a equals 1. It's helpful as always. Later.